We should probably talk audio headsets, music kind of thing too.
And webcams and some of the video conferencing etiquette. Maybe?
Yes. Having I think I'm an audiophile and I'm really neurotic about headphones. So, I mean, I have nice headphones at home that cost way more than most people spend on headphones, but and all kinds of amps and stuff like that. So you should. I like having a nice set that I can listen on. And speakers too, because you're at home. If your significant other is at work and your kids are at school, you can crank music as loud as you want because there's no one to bother except maybe for your neighbors when you go past a certain decibel level. So having that stuff at home is awesome. It's a nice luxury from working from home. Is that you can have your nice audio stuff, but also independent of that, having a nice headset that you can talk on that's comfortable. My recommendation is wireless. Because I tell you what, I did very poor planning when I worked from home and had conference calls about going to the bathroom. And I get on a call, and you're on more calls when you're working from home because that's how you're communicating with all of your fellow coworkers. And I would just go on a call. I'm like, I really, really have to pee. Right now, you're all lying if you said you haven't found an empty Gatorade bottle or whatever and put yourself on mute to go to the bathroom. I know you've all done it, right? But if you're wireless, you can make that trip to the bathroom without having to excuse yourself from a call.
It sounds silly, but you have a really long cable as well.
Yes, a long tube that goes outside.
And also, again, back to some of Tyler's thinking ahead. I have a wired headset. This is the headset I use all day, every day, and it plugs in USB, but it disconnects headphone jack, which I can then use this nice little adapter and plug this into my phone. Same headset, same phone.
Same
and
here.
if I know, I haven't peed in a while, maybe I want to join this video conference or via phone or this WebEx via phone.
Great point.
I can go to the bathroom. Also, the cord between USB and headset is long enough to reach across the hall to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Please, for the love of all things holy, put yourself on mute if you are going to use the facilities.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, Lee, you're holding up some gear.
That includes not only one end, but that also includes the other end as well. We've been on calls where we have people that are sick, right? And I don't know about you guys, but if I hear somebody throwing up in the background, oh man, I am dry heaving. I'm saying, please don't do it, right?
All the stuff you hear on conference calls.
Keep my cookies off my keyboard.
Lee, you're holding up some gear over there.
I'm holding up some stuff. At the different ends of the spectrum. The little headset that comes with your smartphone.
Yeah, I throw that in the trash.
It's not really. It's got a crappy microphone, and the sound isn't all that good.
And it's
works,
uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, and of course on the other end, my jabber that I wear all day long. It even has the noise canceling switch on it that totally cuts out the outside world. I used to have a wireless version of this. I just had too much trouble with just the sound, it dropping out, disconnecting, or other problems, just local environment problems. So when I went to the wireless, like Larry's, I can hook it up to my phone. Those problems went away.
Yeah.
The main thing, though, is you're going to be spending a lot of time on this headset. Make sure you can wear it for many hours, and you're not going to be in pain.
Don't skimp out on the headset. Bluetooth is less problematic, I think, than a few years ago in terms of dropping out. But do your research with your Bluetooth headset, because many headsets don't like to work with Android and or iPhone and or Linux and or Mac OS, and I've been down that road so many times. I did
It also is determined based on the video conferencing software as well. I've had certain Bluetooths just not work with the conferencing software. So really, at the end of the day, it is mostly hardline, right?
Oh, I got one of what did I get? I'll have to look it up. I got a little personal conference phone that plugs in USB that works with Linux and it works with Zoom. I haven't tested it with much other software. But we have an expensive one here in the office. It's like $300 or more that can do like multiple people and has the noise cancellation so the speaker doesn't bleed out into the internal microphones. That's the one we use when we have large numbers of people because it works really well. But if it's just you, let's see if I can find it. Anyway, I'll find it. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I
let's talk about
figure that out.
Yep. So yeah, the boom mic, great. One of the other things that moving into the webcam while you're looking at that stuff, Paul. What about some of the video?
Yeah, I like the Logitech. Well, you can't buy them
922.
Yeah, 920 series really in any capacity works pretty well.
But
this little guy.
Yeah, that one. Now, that said, they may not be available given that everybody's moved this type of stuff, but I bet you may have some things in your home that you can use as a webcam. We were talking this before the show. You could do video capture from a whole bunch of different stuff. You could do video capture from some of the new GoPros. You can how you're saying some of the GoPros have native HDMI output now.
Yeah. So the GoPro 3, some of the older GoPro 3s have some HDMI out natively. The new GoPro 8 has what's called a media mod, where you slide a kind of a cover over it. The media mod is fantastic because it's got native 4K out that I use with a Elgato Cam Link. The Elgato Cam Link basically presents whatever you plug in HDMI as a webcam. So that means you could take like your DSLR camera, you could take just about anything that outputs native HDMI and put it in as a webcam. So that works really well.
So I have here in the office, and you could obviously use this at home, a Jabra Speak 410 OC speakerphone for USB. It is now on Amazon. It looks like they have some enabled for $109.
And it's Jabra, so it is a good name too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I use the Brio, Logitech Brio, which is the Ultra HD webcam, and I literally just went onto Amazon and looked at the price available, and right now they have it. I got it for $89, right? Outside of this COVID stuff, like, let's be honest, right? But I went on Amazon and I looked at it, $495. Are you out of your mind?
Price gouging.
Yeah. So I wondered if Johnny wanted to chime in on some of this
shipping.
stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Johnny is one of our production folks. I think he has some comments on some of the stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's Johnny.
I would love to. Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
So going back to the mics, if you're not looking to spend too much money, Josh uses a blue Snowball. Let me just pull it up real quick.
Hey,
so right there, you can get, you can get the shock mount, the pop filter, and the boom arm for $74.99, which isn't breaking the bank, and it's definitely decent quality. I enjoy his quality coming in. If you want to go a little higher, Tyler and Lee know what I'm about to drop in, and that's going to be the Yeti. This is a straight up USB plug-in. You don't need like an audio driver. You don't need like a USB interface or anything, and it's $129.99. I love the sound of this mic. It's USB. It's plug and play. That thing is awesome. Now, what we have here in studio, which is one.
Well, Johnny, which one do I have at home that we had tested that works pretty well?
So it's an Audio Technica. I believe that one's like $60 to $65. That one's good too, and that one's not going to break the bank.
That one has analog and USB, and it's the one in my home studio.
Yep. Yeah. So you can plug it in analog or you can plug it in USB, and like I said, no drivers needed or anything. I mean, it's plug and play. It'll recognize your computer will recognize it as the microphone, and I mean the sound is definitely decent. Now, what we have here in studio, which is one of my favorite mics, and this is Paul's favorite, this is the Heil Pr4.
Oh, yeah, that's the Cadillac.
So this mic is absolutely beautiful. So, I mean, here you can see you can get the boom arm. It comes with an XLR cable, the shock mount, and the mic for $400. Now, the thing with this is it's not USB plug and play. So you're going to need
a Scarlett 2i2.
So Paul, actually now
2i2 or 2i4.
The third gen of the Solo
has the balanced out.
It has balanced outs. So in this sense, all you'd have to do is connect an XLR from the Heil right into that XLR port on the left-hand side, and then you would plug, your headphones in on the right, and you can, adjust the gain levels. It's got 48-volt phantom power, which that mic does not need. Most of the broadcast microphones don't need 48 volt.
Right.
The headset that Paul's using right now is a Sennheiser HD26.
Yeah, these are broadcast quality. But wait, so how much is the Scarlett Solo now?
So the Scarlett Solo is $109.99, and that's the 3rd gen with the balanced outputs. Now, if you want to get a little fancier, you can drop in the 2i2, which is all what we use here. Now, when we bought them, I believe, Paul, it was the 2nd gen, which has the balanced outputs on the back. So this has 2 XLR or 2 quarter-inch inputs. So those are universal quarter-inch and XLR inputs. So if your mic is going in quarter-inch or you have an 1/8 inch, you could plug an adapter in. I don't like to plug in adapters because it gets a little iffy with quality, but it has the option for XLR and quarter-inch on that. My favorite broadcast microphone, and don't get me wrong, Paul, I love the Heil, but it's actually what my man Scott Lyons is rocking right now, which is the Shure SM7B. Now, you can see out of 435 ratings, it has 5-star on Amazon.
Wow.
So obviously, with the SM7B and the Heil Pr4, you're going to need some kind of USB interface to be able to get that power. You're going to need some kind of a preamp, but it's USB-B out of the back right into your computer USB.
Interesting.
But those are, if you're looking to spend a little bit of money, you
what
can
are those running?
So those are running 400, same exact quality, same exact price as
but it
the
has
Heil
USB.
Pr4. That one does not. You need a Scarlett with this one as well.
So now wait, hold on, Johnny. Let's. So now, we're talking about beyond conference calls. If you want to do your own video production or podcasts, these are good recommendations. Now I saw where the Audio Technica. What are the Audio Technica headsets that we use? The older ones that are listing. Yeah, there it is right there. They were listing for $199.
It's almost like you knew that I was going to talk about it. So these are the Audio Technica BPHS1s. These are the ones that this is the audio that you hear when we go to conferences. We have, I think, 5 or 6 sets of these, Paul, but like what Larry was talking about, very similar to Larry's headset that he's wearing. You can monitor with the headphones, and it has the boom arm, which is awesome. Our CEO, Matt Alderman, loves those, and he uses those on all of our shows. It's because not similar to something like the Yeti where it's stationary and unidirectional, which means it's just coming in from the top, or the Shure SM7B or the Heil Pr4. Those are unidirectional, so you have to speak directly into the top of those. That is going to follow your mouth wherever it goes, so you can turn, and it's not, you're not going to lose any dB. You're not going to lose any gain when you're turning those. So that's why these are awesome.
Yeah, my advice, Johnny, for people just getting into podcasting, if you got that Scarlett Solo for $109 and you got the Audio Technica BPHS1, so a couple of notes on that. You can, if you contact us, I can give you the link. You can swap out the ear cups. You may have noticed on our videos we have red ear cups that are way more comfortable and probably around $10 for a set of new ear cushions for those. You can also replace the cable on the Audio Technica BPHS1s, and they're super durable, right? We've had the same ones for years. They are not on sale, but you can get them renewed on Amazon for $166.99. I totally recommend that. Swap the ear cups out. And if there's a problem with the cable, you can always replace it. I don't remember what the cable cost, but it is replaceable. That with the Scarlett Solo, which also has balanced outputs if you need to have a second recording, would be virtually noise-free with the balanced cable. That's an awesome setup.
Yeah, and so if we were to break it down for people that aren't watching, right, and they're listening, right, Johnny, what are we looking at for total packages, right? What is the total price we're looking at here? Can you break that down?
Oh. Yeah, sorry.
Johnny broke
it's hard switching and doing this, but Scott, you were asking price of what this is going to cost, correct?
Right. Because the Shure SM7B not only needs a Focusrite, but it needs an audio processor like a DBX286S, right? And from experience, I can tell you that once you have all the bits and bobs, cables, parts, right, and so on and so forth, you're probably looking at about $1,200 to $1,300 investment in sound only, right? But the other ones, if you could break the other ones down, that would be great.
Yeah. So, you don't need the DBX. So that Scarlett is basically your preamp. Now, what Scott's doing is he has the exact same compressors that we have in the studio, which is the the DBX 286S, and I can drop that
those
in.
Are awesome.
They're awesome. I mean, it's an excellent preamp. It's got de-essers, it's got limiters, compression gate. And I mean, that's what Paul's running through right now. He's running through the Sennheiser HMD26, and that's going through the DBX 286S compressor. Let me throw that up just so I can show the audience.
That might be a little overkill for your conference calls, but if you're gonna do podcasts at home, Scott, I think your price point is probably pretty spot on. These Sennheisers that I'm wearing now are about $500.
$550.
$550. But they're like the same ones that you'll see on sports broadcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, the reason that I went with this was because of the need, right? We're on Zoom calls all the time. We're recording Security and Compliance Weekly. By the way, if you have never seen that, go look it up. It's definitely worth watching. Sorry, guys, shameless plug there. But, to us, the sound quality and being able to get points across, right, and that clarity of vision really rings home with the clients and customers that we're talking with, right?
Yeah, so Scott, you wanted some price points, right?
Yeah, man.
All right, so if you're going simple, that blue that I had shared, it's $75, USB plug and play. If you want to go with the headset with the boom, kind of similar to what Larry has, you're going to need a Scarlett, and you can get the Solo, and that's $110 for the Solo. That goes right USB, and then you're going to plug the BP HS1 Audio Technica headset right into that XLR, and then so it's got an XLR and a 1/4 inch. That one needs a USB interface, obviously, because it's XLR and has the 1/4 inch. But on the right of that Solo, it has that 1/4 inch in to be able to monitor. So that's going to run you about $310. On the higher end stuff like the Pt.3 and the SM7B, those are both $400 microphones, broadcast quality. I mean, any radio show that you see, Hot 97, 94.5, they're using SM7Bs all around. So that's going to cost you $400, and then you could get a Scarlett Solo for $110, and it's going to run you at about probably like $530 to $550 after tax.
I do want to say the Audio Technica ATR 2100, it's USB or XLR, it's cardioid dynamic. They're unavailable on Amazon, but we paid $63 for one of those.
And on another note, if if you're still working from home and you need to have some better quality on the headset, microphone, that type of stuff, I posted mine to Slack for you guys as well. But on Amazon currently, it's the HyperX Cloud 2, which is the one that I'm using now. It was like it's a gaming headset. I'm like, I need something better. I got to try something, and that's the one I can go back and forth to my phone and you name it. It's $99, and it's available Amazon Prime right now. Yeah. So, an affordable option for those of us that are like, oh crap, I'm working from home all of a sudden.
The other thing that we saw was the Shure 48 that's up on Amazon as well for $48.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
It's also XLR required, so you would need a Scarlett to do it. But it's the quality that comes out is crazy.
Yep.
Nice. I want to go back to the webcam for one moment, because I bought this webcam, which also is unavailable on Amazon, but it's an AUKEY FHD webcam. It's 1080p, and when I bought it, it was $36.99. And I tell you what, it works with Linux. It works completely fine for Zoom calls. When they become available, AUKEY FHD webcam 1080p, $36.99.
And that is AUKEY, right?
AUKEY.
Okay, great. So
yeah,
back to the webcam thing, Paul. I think there's something that I wanted to bring up, and sort of getting us towards the end of the show here, likely, is about some video conference
etiquette.
Things that we should be thinking about on the video conference. I know there's a number of that have gone. Just all of a sudden we've gone to remote work and we need to be on these video calls, and we've talked about getting dressed, and we've talked about all this great technology, and we've talked about being healthy and these types of things. But I think there's a delicate balance about being on a camera and, mute, no camera when you go to the bathroom, but about the environment in which you're in. For me, I'm in my home office. This is where, I pimp my office, so to speak. And right now, and I think even if we set the stage now folks going into those calls know that many people have moved to an area where they're not normally working from. And I very much expect to go on a call with a customer right now and see rafters and heating systems, because they're working from their basement, and because that's where they've got some available space. But to me, that's fine. But if there's piles of dirty laundry and beer cans on the floor, maybe not so much. So have a tidy camera shot behind you. Mine may be cluttered, but there's some organization, there's some fun stuff there. It's tidy.
Yeah.
And
be mindful of your background.
Your pile of laundry in your underwear is not such a good idea.
Yeah, dirty dishes laying around. I mean, you name it. We've seen it all.
Yep.
And you can leverage many of the conferencing software. I believe Zoom has the ability to upload a picture. We have a corporate image that we can display that has the website and the logo. You can put up a video. We had some pretty funny guys this week on one of our conference calls where he was in a boat in Italy, like just riding the water, or a guy was on a camel riding on the back of a camel. So you can get creative with that and use it if you have to. Otherwise, a plain black, blue, pick a color that works well for you. Pick something that you can put over a wall and make a background. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, or move for the video call to an area that just has a white wall. So it is important.
Yep. And Tyler, some of those background things aren't always feasible. Like for me to try to put up a green screen, like Scott had earlier, that'd be nigh impossible. I wouldn't be able to get out of my office, and I'd have to build all this gantry and you name it. But the tasteful office behind me is reasonable. Some other things,
it's
like you were saying,
Stormtrooper helmet.
The other stuff, like with the green screen or the background, can be distracting.
Yeah.
And it can be potentially chewing up CPU cycles to do those replacements, and maybe making your performance on that call, robotic or jumping and those types of things.
Yeah, I think what I find works best in a background is a bookcase works really nice, because you can put different stuff in it, and it's dynamic, and it has texture and things like that, and it's not normally a place where you might have a beer can or whatever, right? You put some nice things in that background. I mean, having designed a lot of the, hand in designing a lot of the sets around here, I do really like a bookcase, because you can put all kinds of different stuff in it. Scott's got awesome Star Wars stuff. Tyler's got really cool stuff, and I see an old Nintendo on there and stuff. That stuff's really cool. And you don't need to be extravagant, right? You can get bookcases or shelves anywhere.
Yeah, it reminds me of
there's some other basic stuff.
Yep, go ahead, Lee.
One of the things, and you're even hearing it on this podcast, but when in a big meeting, remembering to mute yourself when you're not talking.
Yeah.
As well as figuring out your etiquette for putting your hands up to be heard when you need to get in there, because the people in the room can't see you. Well, maybe somebody who's got all the people on the screen in front of you can, but a lot of times, if somebody's presenting, they don't know who's trying to get their attention. So figuring that out, whether there's a raise the hand button, or you sit there and bang on your microphone, whatever it takes.
Find a quiet place too. There's nothing more distracting than the all kinds of commotion going on because you're in a coffee shop or a cigar lounge, or I guess I've been guilty of a lot of that over the years, but
airport, hotel lounge.
Yep. Yep. But so maintaining that background and having it be tasteful is appropriate. Like I remember years ago, there's always that picture of the couple. Like the quote engagement photo of the couple, and in the background there's a big dildo and the tube of anal lube.
Right.
Think about what's behind you. Like, it's interesting now what you can actually see behind me, because I'm looking at the background and I can see the neighbor's TV in the background over this shoulder here, right about.
Yeah.
So
that also goes for work stuff. Keep your OPSEC in check. Make sure you don't have a whiteboard with customer names on it, IP addresses, passwords. Be mindful of any kind of reflection that, if you're wearing glasses and you're looking at stuff on a very large screen, it's pretty easy to pick out stuff that, may not be appropriate for the client you're talking with. So
you don't
be mindful.
You don't want the client to go, hey, Tyler, what's that behind you on the desk? Is that preparation H?
Yeah. No, it's a wedding picture, actually.
Or what are you really supposed to be looking at that while we're on a conference call?
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear I'm not.
The reflection too. Be mindful of the reflection. There's a picture or sometimes glasses, and you've got inappropriate images. Sometimes you can see that.
Yep. Or like this, I have this reflective surface right behind me. I have to watch what it can see on the monitor in front of it.
And when you share your screen too, right?
Absolutely.
Make sure your incognito window's closed.
Yeah.
I remember going on site with a client. I was going on with another engineer. And this guy forgot to change his tab that he was looking at in the hotel room the night before when he started screen sharing. Oh man, it was a shock.
Yeah,
to say the least. It was a shock.
Yep. And if you're screen sharing and you need to look something up on the internet, stop sharing your screen because many times the first Google result that you click on may not be appropriate for mixed audiences. Just ask sales instructor Tim Medine about his experience Googling for MD5 hashes.
And what came up? I think he told us when he came on the show.
Yeah. So he was like, oh yeah, so some of the easiest way to find passwords is to Google for the MD5 hash. And he Googled for the MD5 hash. He clicks on the link, and while the link is loading, he's walking through the classroom. But it was for an MD5 hash on a file name instead, and it turns out it happened to go to an adult website where the various ladies may have had extra body parts.
Now I remember that story.
Yes.
Oh man.
To use a phrase, chicks with dicks comes to mind.
What could people use? Because there's an incognito window that you can get on Chrome and Firefox. Can you do that in Internet Explorer?
Don't know.
Or are they still back in the dark
Internet
ages
Explorer?
trying
I think it's called Edge
assault
now.
Area 51.
Yeah, I think if you use Edge, you get that.
Also, to that note, wherever you set up your webcam, be mindful of other people in your house, right? That might be walking around in their bathrobes or not their bathrobes, right?
Yep.
Like you are recording and streaming when you're doing that, so be careful.
Yeah, we had that at our virtual karate class just the other day. Kids there doing karate with the webcam, and the student was focused, and dad walks by from left to right in his underwear.
Yep.
I'm like, yep.
Wow.
That can happen.
Yep.
Yeah. So a quick tip on the Windows side: if you do have to share screens, Windows has the ability to have multiple desktops. And you can actually set your desktop, if usually it's swipe up with 3 fingers or down by your start button to the right of it or the search. Creating a new desktop that's clean, making sure that there's no icons. You can right click on your desktop, say don't show icons, and have a nice logo of your company. It's a real nice way so you can do screen sharing and make sure you share a clean screen as well as a background that doesn't have any telling client secrets.
Also, if you're using a camera, you should make sure that the on-screen display isn't on the camera either. Tyler, you're at about 77% battery right now.
I know. I tried to shut that off, too. I've been Googling this all day. These are brand new, and I can't find out how to shut this off the screen from the media mod.
It's awesome.
Wow.
So then the other thing is, if you're worried about sensitivity, if you're just sharing using Excel and want to share or Word or whatever, just share the app you're using if you can. I do that all the time. I have a bunch of stuff that I don't want the rest of the room looking at, and I'll just share the one thing that I want them to focus on. And then, of course, it trips me up when I do have to do full screen share because I wind up with extra stuff and need-to-know problems.
Oh, and that reminds me, Lee, we know this because we've done it for years with screen sharing, right? But those that are now working from home, sharing their screens for the first time, turn off all your notifications, right? All of us have presented before and taught classes, and there's nothing worse than like the ridiculous emails and messages we send each other to pop up while you're teaching or on a Zoom call.
Either that or, like my partner Josh is guilty of this. When you call him, it rings everything, right? Skype, Hangouts, cell phone, Discord, Slack. It rings everything, and it's just oh man.
Yeah, turn off those
Like Ed, you're getting a call.
I have a former coworker that while we were doing a video conference together, we were sitting in the same room using his laptop, and joined in a video call with a customer. He was receiving sexy text messages from his wife.
Yep.
If you catch my manner of speaking, and they included photographs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. It was a good day.
Lots of explaining to do.
Yep. So
that's important.
Turn those notifications off.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other thing is mind the tabs that, if you're sharing your screen and you've got 150 tabs open on Chrome, number one, your computer is going to be extremely slow, and number two, everybody's going to make fun of you and say, "Dear Lord, man, give that thing a rest."
Right, Tyler?
Well, also that goes to OPSEC too, right? The people can see what tabs you have open. They can see what browser extensions that you have.
They can't see what tabs you have open if you have 150.
That's true. All I see is the little X's, if I can even see that, if there's enough tabs open.
And then 40 of them have audio, which start playing all at the same time. Yep.
Especially when it crashes.
I love that. Where's the audio coming from game that you get to play with Chrome sometimes, right?
So I know Johnny had a couple more quick comments about some of the AV things, and then we should probably consider wrapping it up.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. So let me. All right, you guys can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What?
All right. So all right, exactly. So I just kind of wanted to just go through some headphones. So these are my personal headphones that I have. If you want to use, like, if you have like a mic that like Scott has, or the Pt.3, these are $100. They're Sennheiser HD280 Pros. I've had my pair since 2011, and they still work fantastically. They have great all-around sound. The next one that I'm going to share
is Focal Utopia, or
so
Go Home.
I don't have the Focal Utopias because those are going to break the bank a little bit.
No.
Paul, what's the price point on those?
Those are $3,000.
Yeah. So
that's not including the amp you're going to need to drive them.
Exactly.
By the way.
So I'm going to drop this in here. These Paul has,
love those,
which I fell in love with, and our host of Security Weekly News, Doug White, he actually is going to get a pair of these because he likes them so much. He likes them so much. He wanted me to give him the model. So these
comfy.
are the Bayer Dynamic DT880s. They're semi-open, which basically means that you can hear what's coming through very well. But you can also, like, if I'm talking to Paul and I'm saying something to him, if he had, closed back headphones, I think what were the other ones, Paul, that you used to use?
Oh, I've had probably well over a dozen different headphones that I've gone through to find the right ones for the set that has the Heil, right? Because I need a set of headphones. I have a mic. I just need a set of headphones. Now, like I said, I actually have a pair of Focal Utopias. They're my favorite headphones in the world. They're not made to do a broadcast like this when you have a microphone. They're made to be connected to a really nice amp and listen to music, right?
Yep.
So I had to search for headphones that would work the best during a broadcast, taking into account I don't want to be totally closed off. I still want to be able to hear people talking to me around me, but not have it be overwhelming. I want them to be super comfortable. I don't want them to look ridiculous on camera either, because I had a pair of Mr. speakers that were nice, but they looked ridiculous on camera just because of the design, right? The strap and it just looked funny.
Yeah, I think the strap. I don't know. Were those Bayer Dynamics too, Paul? Because I like the strap.
No, those were
then
Mr.
it had
speakers.
Like an arch over it. It kind of looked like a helicopter headset.
Yes,
but those were totally closed back. So like, if I was trying to talk to you, they're totally noise canceling, so you wouldn't be able to hear. So
I mean, and I've had like well over 30 different pairs of headphones in the past 15 years of doing podcasts, right, and editing audio. So go back to the Bayer Dynamics. They are the ones that I totally recommend if you need a nice set that doesn't break the bank of headphones to where whether you're going to listen to, they're almost versatile. Listening to music, I even think they're rated ohm-wise to be able to connect to your phone. And while you're doing a broadcast or whatever, if you have a microphone and need headphones, that is by far my top recommendation. And they are $229. Sometimes you can find them on sale.
Yep, $229. Yeah, I mean, they're super comfortable. They're lightweight. They're semi-open back, so you can hear through them, and the quality's fantastic. I really like those. So, Paul, I fell in love with those too, as well as Doug did. So I definitely recommend those.
Yep.
Now, if you're like Joff or Scott. Scott, are you using external speakers right now? I assume so, correct?
Yeah. I'm on the external speakers now, but I'm also rocking a set of Audio Technias.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To help not only listen to what's going on, but also to dial in the voice.
Yep.
You know?
Got it. So these next ones I'm going to throw up. These are speakers, which I highly recommend. It's a very similar model to what we have in Studio, Paul. So these are the M Audio BX5D3s. I have the BX5As. I bought them in, I think, 2012. They still scream. They're awesome. They have a very natural sound. Anything you play through them, I personally really like. I'm trying to look for the term, but it's like whatever they want you to hear is what you're going to hear. So those really do it well. I think they're 5-inch powered studio monitors. They're 150 each. So if you do like external speakers like Joff or Scott over like wearing headphones, I definitely recommend those. Those are really good.
I also, Johnny, for powered bookshelf speakers or monitors, Edifier makes some really nice bookshelf speakers.
Yep.
Even their lower so I have these in my man room. These are the Edifier R1280Ts. They're powered bookshelf speakers. They're $99 for a pair.
Yeah, that's.
And I mean, being a really picky, snobby audiophile, I like for $100. They're awesome. They're awesome.
That's a super.
Yeah,
awesome.
I went a little bit above board of what y'all are doing. So I have a Razer Leviathan, right? Desktop bar plus a speaker on the floor, and then coming out of my computer, I'm going into a Yamaha mixer, and then XLR out to a JBL EOS 15, right? And also going to, and this is one of my favorite pieces in the office, a 18-inch seismic audio enforcer.
Both of them
that sounds serious.
You don't need
Seismic
an extra
audio is
amp
awesome.
for it.
Yep.
Say what?
Seismic audio is awesome.
Dude, so I have a set of coins over here on the side, and it's fun when you see the coins jumping off the back wall because of the bass.
That's awesome. That's you're doing it right.
And then going back to Cam's Quick. I know we mentioned the Logitech 922p. That's going to be right here. I want to say the price. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the price is right around $100 for this webcam.
You can get it for between 70 and 100, depending, except for right now.
Got it. Yep. And then so that one's awesome. That one plugs in right USB. Tyler, right now, I believe you're rocking the Hero 8, correct?
Yep, Hero 8 with the medium on.
Yep. So that one's awesome. It's got 4K. So some of the USB captures that we use for the HDMI captures, that's the StarTech that we use right there in studio. So that one's about $183. That plugs in USB, and then you plug the HDMI right into it. So that's how we're.
I think that's Windows only.
It might be
maybe
I
Mac,
don't know.
but definitely Windows.
We may have it running on
definitely
Linux.
not Linux. Put it that way.
Maybe not Linux. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember what it was. And then here we have the Magewell. This thing's awesome. USB 3 right into the computer. That's an HDMI capture as well. Now this is more so if you're running like a DSLR or you have like a mini HDMI coming out of a Hero 4. That's going to do the trick. We use this at conferences. That's not breaking the bank too much. It's $300.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Just wanted to add a couple of those.
Yeah, so if webcams are out of stock right now, you get a camera that you have or buy, and you plug it into an HDMI capture, and that's the source for your Zoom calls.
Right, or you can use the one that you cover up by tape on your laptop.
Yes, that works too. Yep.
Don't forget it's there.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Larry, any final topics you want to cover?
No, I think the big one is in these interesting times across the planet. Be well. Think about your mental health. Think about your work environment. Try to connect with your coworkers and friends the best that you can while, doing what your state, local, and federal and other governments are telling you to do. Reach out to folks using your nice new microphones, headsets, and webcams. And your new Slack and Discord channels, and when you do so, think about what's behind you while you're eating your broccoli. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks,
right.
Larry. Larry, you want to take us out?
Sure, because over and out.